Hello, all my lovely puzzle and quiz nerds. Let's dive right into today's, starting with MapTap. Richmond, Virginia. All right. Okay, let's figure out what we know here. Baltimore, Washington. This is kind of the Virginia shape here. I'm going to assume that's Richmond. I don't think, because no, Richmond's definitely not on the coast. That's more the Newport News area, isn't it? So I'm going to assume this is it. Nice. Leipzig. Okay, Germany, but more specifically, former East Germany. So let's figure this out. European cities seem so small compared to like how they show up on these satellite photos in comparison to American cities that just sprawl, and it makes you realize how different it is just in the way these cities are built, the effect that cars have had on the way cities grow, which is to say, I'm not positive I know which one of these is even Berlin, but let's think. This is the rough border between former East Germany, between Germany and Czechia, though those mountains kind of define the border. I know Dresden is, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's Dresden, but which one of these is Berlin? Which one of these is Leipzig? Like, or is it somewhere else that I'm not even seeing? Like, is this something up here? Like, why are they so? Is this something? Is that like, look what Paris looks like. Cities are off white splotches. And then these are such, like it's almost like you're seeing city walls, which is just so weird in comparison. Well, I don't think I'm going to get this because I don't know exactly where Leipzig is in the former East Germany. I'm assuming it's one of these castle shaped things. I know where the scale's all different, but these feel like city walls. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay, so that's like right on the Polish border. So I was a little further east than I should have been. Okay, it's all part of this. Interesting. Okay, I don't feel like I learned enough there. Anyway, Leon. Leon we can do. East or in France. Pretty sure somewhere right in here. Like it's not in the mountains, but it's not far from the Alps. Arguably the culinary capital of France. I'm going to say it's there. Okay. Not one river over, even closer to the mountains. And Manila, largest city in the Philippines, massive city, period. It's on the North Island of Mindanao, which is this. Look at the sprawl. From appearances, that's the center of it. So let's go there. Recife. Recife, I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. Now, Brazil's scary because Brazil's so big. It's the fifth largest country in the world, I believe. And I think Recife is one of the countries sort of along the north coast of Brazil, which is scary because, all the population's sort of down in the southeast. And if I'm wrong, it's going to be a big difference. But I have a funny feeling it's this. And I might be wrong, but let's learn. Ugh, yeah, see, I was wrong. So it's right on the Big Bend. Okay. All right. Not our best performance. I'm beginning to realize one of my major geographical gaps is I know all the countries of the world. I know where most of them are in relation to. I know a plurality of capitals, but I don't. But aside from like North America and some of Europe, I don't know where a lot of cities are, especially non capitals, non major world cities. I don't know what the population of Recife is, but it's probably millions. And yet I have no real clue where in Brazil it is. And that's definitely a gap in my knowledge. We see it time and time again in Russia and in China and in Japan, and yeah, like that's definitely a gap in my knowledge. Like I don't think I'd even be that good in pointing out where things like major cities in Mexico are. Even though we're part of the same continent. So yeah, that's definitely something I need to work on if I want to be better at MapTap. Is that a skill necessary for almost any other trivia slash knowledge based competition? Not so much, but I feel deficient. Let's play Globle, shall we? Yesterday, our winning answer was Somalia, so that's where we start today. And we're close, but we're still 1,600 kilometers. That's not that far in the grand scheme of things. We're kind of looking in this sort of radius, which makes me think Middle East. Let's try something like Kuwait and see where we're at, if we're heading in the right direction. 50K. Interesting. Kuwait. So we know Iraq and Kuwait share a border. Kuwait and Saudi Arabia share a border. I believe those are the only two countries that border Kuwait. The next closest Persian Gulf country, like Bahrain's that little island there. That's Qatar, that peninsula. The UAE's over here. All of those are too far away. The near Middle East, Syria and Jordan are too far away, and you would hit them before you get to, Lebanon, Israel, Egypt, and whatnot. I'm pretty sure Iran owns this entire coastline, but these are, these two rivers. This is the cradle of civilization. These are the Tigris and Euphrates. This is where ancient Babylon was and current day Baghdad, and that's all Iraqi. But I bet you Iran's pretty close. So I think that's going to be our answer today. Yep, there we go. In capitals, our winning answer yesterday was Accra, the capital of Ghana. And we are just under 8,000 K away. 8,000 is quite a bit. We could be like South Asia, India, something like that, or we could be South America. Let's try the Americas just to see where we're at. Bogota, capital of Colombia, is always a good starting point to narrow things down. And no, we are going in the wrong direction. Okay, let's go Southern Asia. Let's try the capital of Nepal and see what we get. Okay, we overshot it a little, but not by much. Look at this. Look at this path. Look where it's darkest red. Draw a perpendicular along that darkest red, and that'll sort of tell us what we're looking at. And that makes me think Tehran, Kabul, maybe something on the Arabian Peninsula. We're less than 2,000 kilometers from Kathmandu. That's interesting. So that makes me think we're not as far as the Arabian Peninsula. That makes me think it's more like Kabul, capital of Afghanistan. Okay, okay. We're into the stands. It's going to be Tajikistan or Kyrgyzstan, and I'm stalling because I can't remember the stands are one of the. Here's my challenge. When I was in school, the stands didn't exist. I graduated high school in 1991, and so I never had to learn these. And also, they've changed. I know the names of capital cities in the stands, but I don't have that one-to-one burned in correlation between country and city. Like there's a Bishkek in there, there's a Tashkent in there. I know Astana is Kazakhstan. I can remove Kazakhstan from the equation. But between Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, So there's going to be some guesswork going on here. This isn't as defined a process as I'd like it to be. Let's try Tashkent. I'm not even sure what country I'm selecting here. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not even positive what country I've now selected. Oh, we're gonna need to do a little studying before this is all said and done. Okay, so it's not Tashkent. Okay, we're going the wrong. Okay, so Bishkek, that's the Kyrgyz flag. So Bishkek is Kyrgyzstan, and we've gone the wrong way. Tashkent is only 300 away. Kabul was 400. I think that's Uzbekistan. I envisioned Uzbekistan going all the way to the Caspian, but I guess it doesn't. There's Turkmenistan under, and there's Kazakhstan over. Okay, so Bishkek is Kyrgyzstan. Tashkent is Uzbekistan. What's Tajikistan? Because I think that's our answer. Because I think Tajikistan sort of fits in this little spot here. Nur Sultan comes to mind. Now, is that the old Kazakh capital, or is that a capital of another country? Oh, I don't like laying bare my ignorance like this, but this is how we learn. I did not mean Astana because that's definitely Kazakhstan, but okay. So yeah, Nur Sultan is Kazakhstan. Is it somewhere in my brain? The capital of Tajikistan. I may have to go to Google for this, but let me see if I can mind palace this. I don't actually have a mind palace. I wish I had a mind palace. I wish I knew how to build a mind palace because I'd love to be able to do that Sherlock thing. Bishkek, Astana. I think I have to learn. Oh, hey, Canada's on the Google. Do they put whatever country's playing next? Tajikistan capital. Dushanbe. At one point I knew that, but I'm not sure I could have accessed that in any viable way. And it might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Dushanbe. There we go. Okay. Dushanbe. We're learning. We are learning. And that's why we do this. It's not to prove that we're smart, it's to get smarter. You can always get smarter. Bishkek is Kyrgyz. Tashkent is Uzbek. Dushanbe is Tajiki. I'm gonna have to get some old-fashioned 3x5 index cards and set up and do some flashcards for myself. Anyway, let's play some word games. Starting with Wordle. What was our winning word yesterday? What was our winning word yesterday? I literally can't remember. I can't remember. We'll just go old school and start with alien. An A and an E. Okay. What do we like? What do we like? We like. Okay, we figured out the E and the A. That's a really solid start. Sometimes it just comes. Cool. Let's play connections, shall we? I'm sorry I didn't walk you guys through that. That just it was just the first word that came to mind. I was still sort of in testing letters mode. Oh boy. We got lots of compound clues here. School days, bedhead, quote unquote, curse word, copy editor, spell checker, bank teller, pack rat. We've got nouns. We've got, oh man, charm bracelet, murder mystery, mirror selfie, mouth guard, pride rock. Every single thing is a compound. Delta Airlines, Hex Key, Echo Park. Holy crud. One company and one company alone in Delta Airlines. That's so interesting. Charm and curse and hex and spell. These all start with a magical incantation type thing. I like those as a set. Copy, mirror, echo, and quote. are all replicating something. Quote, copy, mirror, echo. So we're just ignoring second words so far at these first two sets, if they're correct. Normally I wouldn't try something so quickly, but this is there's so many things to look at because we've got compound words. Are we looking at first words? Are we looking at second words? Are we looking at anagrams? Are we looking at hidden words within? I think we are, but I'm always hesitant about submitting something before I see most of the puzzle spelled out. But that feels really good, that set that I've got highlighted right now. It's almost certainly not the purple. It's might even be the yellow. But there's some days we're going for the purple and going for the reverse rainbow feels doable, and there's others where that's not the purpose. The purpose is finding all four sets, not making any mistakes, and knowing what all the four connections are. Playing only connect rules in my head. Yeah, there's our yellows. Okay. Next thought: mirror, echo, copy, quote. Could anything else fit that set? Duplication. I don't think so. Yeah. Repeat. So these are the two that are based on the start of each of these. So what's next? Murder mystery, school days, mouth guard, pack rat, Pride Rock, bedhead. What on earth is going on here? School days and bank teller both start with like institutions, but they're the only two that I can. There's not like this ends with a body part, this starts with a body part, but no animals other than pack rat, no companies other than Delta Airlines, no Disney references other than Pride Rock. So I don't think those are any of our connections. None of these look like anagrams, which isn't to say they aren't, but I'm not seeing any anagram type activity here. What on earth is Delta Airlines doing in this group? What else do we have? What else could it be? Okay. River Delta, River Bank, River Mouth, Riverbed. That could be a thing. I find it weird that so far all our sets are really just using the first word in all these compound clues. That's why I'm hesitant, but I mean that feels like a set. Pride Rock, murder mystery, school days, pack. Like pride and murder, those are like sins. Pack rat kind of represents a sin. Is that kind of like coveting or hoarding? How is school days a sin related? Nostalgia shouldn't be a sin, right? I like these four as, parts of a river. They start with a part of a river. Yeah, that's our purple. Okay. So what is it about these four? What's our connection? Everything's with starts. And this feels like it has to do with the starting word too, or is it more a vibe? Rock is a music genre, but nothing else fits there. Mystery is a movie genre, but nothing else fits there. Oh, they start with a group of animals: a pride of lions, a murder of crows, a school of fish, a pack of dogs. There it is. I'm not sure I loved that one. I don't like that every single set was to do with the first word in each compound clue. Like I would have liked if everything. I have nothing against compound clues. Don't get me wrong, but why weren't there sets based on the second word? Why weren't there compound clues that were anagrams or some other connection that involved more than just the first word in every compound? Oh well, we still got there. We certainly didn't get a reverse rainbow. We didn't get purple first, but we solved it, and that's ultimately the important thing. And we know why we solved it. That's even more important than actually getting the answer right, in my mind. So we got there, and we learned some Central Asian world capitals. which is always good to know. Let's see if I can recall those now. Tashkent is Uzbek. Astana is still Kazakhstan. Nur Sultan is in Kazakhstan. I think it used to be the capital, but it isn't anymore. Dushanbe is the capital of Tajikistan, and the capital of Kyrgyzstan was Bishkek. Fact check me. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that's in there now. So that's a good result for the day. Let me know how you guys did on today's puzzles, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then, cheers.